Hi guys, and welcome to another episode of Kabir Considers. In this video, I'm going to react to 7 things not to say in England if you're American. Now, this is from Lawrence from Lost in the Pond. Love the guy's channel. I can't imagine what's going to make this list. Like, I can't think of anything an American would say that would, you know, really like cause a stir if they said it here. But then again, I'm sure when this video starts, you know, and he starts reeling the list off, I'll be like, okay, yeah, that might get a bit of an angry response. So yeah, this is going to be a really fun one. Let's get into it.
We've all committed embarrassing faux pas. I once asked Karen Gillan whether she preferred the name Amelia or Gingerface. She cried in a cupboard for 3 hours. I
recognise that actress from something. What's she been in? Hold on. Oh, what's she been in? I can't remember.
She cried in a cupboard for 3 hours. I won't ever let her play down that faux pas. But if you're an American visiting England, there are some, shall we say, Americanisms you may just want to keep to yourself unless you have no shame, like me. So here, without further ado, are 7 things not to say in England if you're American.
All right.
To blow someone off.
Oh,
in America,
okay.
Despite...
Okay, yes. 2 very different meanings.
Overwhelming odds to the contrary, this phrase does not mean... I'm trying to think of a suitable euphemism. It doesn't mean fellatio. Rather, it means a failure to keep an appointment with someone. So imagine my surprise when one of my friends lamented that his dad kept blowing him off. Was Indiana living up to its stereotype? Was it indeed the incest capital of America? No, I just have a really dirty mind. Which probably accounts for my confusion over the next entry. Whatever you do, America, don't use this phrase around British.
Yeah, mate. This just means one thing over here, you know.
People, or, you know, anyone. I mean, in what universe does this phrase not sound unequivocally filthy? In America, obviously, where the phrase double fisting unfathomably means to carry and consume 2 drinks simultaneously.
Oh.
But let's be honest, to the rest of us, it just means shoving 2 fists up your fanny pack. Oh, fanny pack. Okay, it's been said many times, right? But fanny has 2 very distinct and yet equally biological meanings on either side of the pond. While both countries can probably agree that this travel accessory is the worst fashion faux pas since shoulder pads, the 2 can't agree on what the accessory should be called. The American term fanny pack has long been the source of amusement in England, where the word fanny means a lady's part. For our part, no pun intended, the British call it a bum bag. You know, bum meaning, just as fanny does in America, your arse.
To be fair, like, just the word fanny, it's very rarely used here. Do people still use it quite commonly in America? Like, here it's very rarely used.
And so with all this talk of human orifices, now might be the perfect time to hit up our next entry. That was intended. Actually, Wednesday might be a better time to hit up this next entry, because Wednesday and Hump Day to Americans are one and the same. The story goes that Hump Day, coined in 1965, is a friendly term suggesting Americans are past the hump of the earlier week, but to Brits it just sounds like an excuse to have some rumpy pumpy.
Yeah, it does. Like, over here, humping just means one thing, you know. Sorry.
Okay, I have to admit, there's no actual evidence to suggest that this one is exclusive to America. But what I can say is this.
Are all of these like sexual innuendos or something?
I first heard it in America, so that's good enough for me. Now, officially Americans, and potentially others, use the term rim shot to mean that bum thing that people say when somebody's told a terrible pun. Now, obviously, I'm not going to sit here and explain to you why I think the word sounds really coarse. Just go and Google words that sound like rimshot and then clear your history immediately. Oh, America, it's time you and I had a sit down and talked about the verb to pet. So a long time ago, in a country far, far away, England, public swimming baths throughout the land added one very crucial but very silly directive to their fascist agenda. No petting in the pool, mate. Don't know why it was in that accent, but it was. Yeah, no petting in the pool. This was a distinctly 1950s way of saying... But
petting, like, when I think of the word petting, I just mean, you know, to stroke a dog or cat, you know, just to, you know, to pet them.
Please refrain from putting your tongue in that person's throat.
Oh.
So, you know, if you ask an English person, can I pet your dog? You're asking them, Can I give it a romantic kiss?
Really?
No dog owner on the planet would be okay with that.
I've never heard anyone using the word pet in that context here, ever. Maybe it's like an old-fashioned, it's got to be very old-fashioned.
Would he?
Or maybe up north.
Call the Yorkshire authorities. Yeah. Instead, we would say, can I stroke the dog? That sounds worse, doesn't it? So sometimes it's not just actual words that can land us in hot water. While it's perfectly acceptable in Britain to strike a pose similar to former Prime Minister and part-time supermodel Winston Churchill, be sure that you do have your hand the right way round. Okay, so don't do that because that means flipping
Yeah, that is like basically telling someone to F off over here if you do that.
somebody off, just with 2 fingers. It's kind of like double fisting in a way, with fingers. Funny story, actually. I remember this one time when a female friend of mine did this to indicate girl power. You know, like the Spice Girls. I think she was being ironic. Unless you're doing it to the management that gave us the Spice Girls, then it's okay. Just, you know, either way, don't do this to the British people because they will be completely and utterly a little bit miffed.
They'll get annoyed at you.
That's all for this episode of Lost in the Pond. Be sure to subscribe to us here.
Great video. As expected, I did not, before the video started, I would not have guessed any of these. But yes, very, very accurate. Especially the double fisting one. I just never would have thought of that. But yeah, if you did say that here, people are only going to think one thing. They're going to be thinking you're talking about something, we'll say raunchy, if you know what I mean. Yeah, fully agree with all of them. Some of them were quite old-fashioned, I'd say. Like a hump day, hump day isn't the old-fashioned one. There was another one that made the list that was quite old-fashioned. I can't remember, but fun video. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.